Hey, what's up? My name is Joseph from Jouleconcepts, and today I'm going to start a new software. I'm going to be talking about AutoCAD 3D, and this is based off of demand from some of my viewers, and I thought I should just start this tutorial. So I think for this AutoCAD 3D, I'm going to be dropping this slightly different days from the ones I dropped for my Cinema 4D tutorial. So in this tutorial anyways, I'm going to talk about the overview of the AutoCAD 3D interface, just how to navigate through the interface and getting yourself comfortable with working around in the interface. That's just what this is going to be about. Then afterwards, I'm going to be doing different projects with AutoCAD 3D modeling tools and all that. So without further ado, let's look at what we have for today. Alright, so I'm assuming you have a knowledge of AutoCAD 2D now, so you already have a knowledge of that. So now, for you to start up your project, you would have to start your normal drawing, just like you would in AutoCAD 2D. So if you click this to start, you have a new drawing. Then you know that for you to get rid of this grid, you click on this or F7, then the grid goes. So now by default you are in drafting and annotation workspace, and this workspace is meant for 2D drafts, which I suppose you know. So for you to start up your 3D modeling, you would have to change your workspace from drafting and annotation to 3D modeling. So you have 3D basics and 3D modeling. Now the difference between these two is that for 3D basics, you have the basic tools for you to use for your normal modeling purpose. So you have a basic modeling tools here. So you have few tools to work with just to do the basic things. And also, this workspace was the one being used in the old version of AutoCAD from 2007, 2010, if I am correct. But from 2013 upward, the workspace, now AutoCAD introduced 3D modeling, which brings out more tools for you to work with. So you can already see the difference between the 3D basic and 3D modeling. You have more tools for you to work with here, so you have a lot of things to work with. That's just the difference between 3D basics and 3D modeling. All right, okay. So the first thing you're going to do when you come over to your 3D modeling workspace is for you to set up your viewports and set up some things in order to start up your drawing. And usually when you're working in 3D workspace, this is no more an orthographic view. You are having a third dimension, which is the Z dimension or the Z dimension, the Z axis. And then that means you would need to see objects in all dimensions, in your XY plane, in your XZ plane, and in your YZ plane. So that means you have a third axis to work with, unlike the normal 3D 2D drafting annotation where you only have your orthographic drawing. So for you to do that, the first thing you will do is, if you come up to this place, you have some tabs which is different from your drafting annotation. You can notice solid is not part of the tabs you have there. You have solid, you have surface tab, you have mesh tab, visualize, and then you now come back to all the ones you have in your drafting annotation. So basically you have this additional 3 tabs added for you for 3D modeling purpose. And if you go to your home tab, you have some panels or ribbons being added. You have the modeling panel added into your home tab, and you have your mesh and your solid editing panel. Then you have your selection panel added. Then your coordinates, which you don't have. You have a whole lot of tabs added here in your home tab, so just bringing them out for your 3D modeling purpose. So another thing you want to do is also changing your viewport. Sometimes you would want to have 2 different screens and one viewport for particular orthographic drawing and the other for isometric view or 3D view. And the reason why you would want that is because when you are working in 3D, sometimes you want to convert your 2D object into 3D objects, and when you are creating this 3D geometry, the actual objects are created in your XY plane and the height is added in the Z plane. So you would want to have a view of how it looks in the orthographic view and then have that. So enough of talking. So for you to do that, what you will do is come up to your visualize. Once you come into your visualize, you have all these viewports. So you have your model viewports. If you click on this viewport configuration, you have different viewport configurations you can choose from. So the default you have is single. You can have 2 vertical, you can have 2 horizontal, you can have, and so on and so forth. So you can already see a preview of that. You have 4 equal. All right. So, and if you also notice as I'm switching, if you look at your viewport, everything looks similar, identical, except one that has blue highlights. The one that has blue highlights means that is the active view. So if I do anything, if I pan, even look at my mouse is here. So even if I pan, it has effects in the active viewport. If I zoom, the effect is on the active viewport. So for me to activate the other viewport, just click on it once, it activates. Click on this, it activates, and if you pan, that has effects. If you click on this, it activates. Alright, so that's how to activate the viewport. Just click on the viewport you want, and that is active. So you can use this to change your viewports. You can go back to your single viewports. And if you look at the viewports, now why would you want to change these viewports, have different viewports? The reason is, maybe you want to have different view of an object. You're creating an object, you want to see the top view, you want to see the left view, the front view, or an isometric view. So in that way, for you to do that, if you notice your view cube, you have top here, you have top here, you have top here, you have top here. So you can decide to set your viewport such that maybe this one will show you the top view, this will show you another view. So for you to change, you can just click on this arrow, shows you the front view, then you can see your UCS. So instead of the XY that you have, you now have your XZ. So you can decide to say, okay, for this one you want to change this one to your side, one of your side view, maybe left or right. So you have this, notice X, Z, and for this one you see YZ. Then for the last one, you can decide to say you want it to be an isometric view. So for me to change this isometric view, you can just move your mouse to the view cube. You will see this home button here. Click on it. It takes you to the isometric view or the 3D view. So that's the reason why you would want to split your viewports to different screens, and then it can work. But sometimes you would need to be alternating between these viewports. Alright, so I'm going to take this to my single. So I'm going to activate the home tab before I go to single so that this becomes the one it goes to. Alright, so another thing you also want to know here is that if you move your mouse in your viewports, come to the top left corner, you're going to see something highlighted there. The first one is your normal viewport control that we just checked here, viewport control. And you can also check it here, you can select it from this place. So once you click on this viewport control, you have some things you can do here. You can decide to deactivate your view cube and also deactivate your navigation bar. And it's still the same thing as going to your visualize, to your view. You have your viewport, view cube, and your navigation bar. Sorry about that. So you can do that here without you going to the ribbon tab. You can activate your view cube using this viewport control and navigation bar. You also have your steering wheel. Now as soon as you click on steering wheel, notice what happens to the viewports. The darkness of the black becomes a little bit lighter, so you have so much things to see, and that is just a setting for the view steering wheel. So you can just, and the thing with the steering wheel, we're going to get to this, just giving you an overview of the software, of the interface. So for you to close this, just move your mouse to this X and close this, and it's back. Other thing you can do is if you click here you have your viewport configuration list. So here you can also set the vertical, so you already get the idea. You can set that and also take it back. Then if you look up here, you have your restore viewports, and if I change this to something else, you have maximize viewports if you come back. So what does it do? What does this do? Now if you have two views, like two viewports, let's make this isometric. If I want to maximize this, I can just come to this place, maximize. It maximizes the isometric view. Then you can go back and restore the isometric view to the two workspace. If you come back here, you can maximize this and similar thing. So that is what that is about. So would you have to always click on this for you to maximize? No, but there is a shortcut for that, and that can be used. It can be done in the command line bar, and the shortcut is VPM, and it's just VPM stands for viewport maximize. So once you have the active view you want, to just type VPM and press enter. It maximizes that, and for it to minimize, still the same thing, VPM enter, it minimizes that. So if I click here and I hit VPM enter, it does this, and also VPM, it does the other inverse. So just thought you should know that is there for it to maximize and minimize. So let me go back to this VPM, and we're back to this. Sorry, my keyboard is running from me. All right, so that is that. And also if you look towards, if you also click back here, you have under your viewport configuration list, you have configure, where you can set your own view or your own viewport configuration. And I'm going to get back in a minute. I'm going to get back to that in a minute. So I'm going to close this and show you how to do that. And coming to the right of that, you have the viewport control, or the view control, where you can pick from any of the lists. You have your top and you have your bottom, and that changes. You can notice that this flips. These compass flips. If you click on top, notice your east is here, your west is not south. Then if you choose bottom, it flips. Can you see your east is now here? So you should always see that. You can also flip your left, your right, and also don't mind this name, and this is just the viewport, but the coordinates is switching itself. So when you are creating anything, this is what you should notice, or you should mind, not this. All right, so because right now if I have my right view, that means I can create my object in my right view. That is what it means. So if I want to create this, I can create this rectangle in my right view. That's my right view. Then if I go to the isometric plane, you will see what I have. All right, but you'll get to understand what this does. It just constrain your drawing to a particular plane to draw. Because by default in your home, if you try to create anything using the home view, it's going to constrain it to the normal home, which is the XY, which is the top view normally. Can see, so this changes your coordinates control. So if you come here and change this to your front, it changes to front, and also that means you can create anything in the front control. All right, so but you notice this is constant because it's just assuming, okay, this is has now been set to your XY plane. So you create, so when, like I said earlier, when you're creating anything 2D shapes, they are usually created in your XY plane. So this is forcing the front view to your XY plane. That is why this is handy and not that. Okay, So if I go back to my wall and take this back to my top, so this is the wall now. Alright, so if I come here and I, for instance, go to my front view and I try to create anything, can you see I can't create any front view, even though the view cube is telling me front view. I'm constrained to the word control. So like I said, don't always, for creation purpose, this is what you notice, and also this is what you should change, because when you change this by default it affects this, but if you change this it affects this but doesn't affect your view control. So you should always know that. So if I come back to the top and I change this guy here to back, this changes automatically but doesn't affect that. So then you can also go to isometric snap, your southwest isometric, you have your southeast isometric. So this can just, this is just changing this. Then you also have your mode here, that this is making use of, using parallel or perspective. So if I switch to perspective and I change all these things, all this will be having a perspective view. Now right now we don't have anything because we don't have any drawing in our scene. Once you have a drawing in our scene, you see the perspective effects in the drawing. Alright, so take this back to parallel. You can already see the difference here, but the difference is not pronounced with 2D objects. By the time you start putting a 3D object, see the difference, see the jump there. So I'll go back to this. Then you now have your visual style. Now these visual styles are different view, different I don't know how to put this, different ways you can visualize your 3D model. So let's assume let me go to my isometric snap here and change this back to world and create this geometry here. So this is a particular visual style that I'm seeing here, and this is 2D wireframe visual style. And if I change this from this wireframe and let's start with 2D is more like the normal wireframe. The difference is just that this wireframe is for 3D model, so you tend to have all this. Then wireframe is just like a line diagram. Then if you go back to conceptual, it shows you the mask that makes up the object. Then you also have the hidden, which is more like you don't see the hidden lines or the ones you can't see. You know, when you create a box, this line is not visible, so it hides that. Then you have your realistic. This realistic is when you have textures on, that's when you see this realistic more. Then you have your shaded. So these are the visual style, shaded with edge. And you have your shaded gray, you have your sketch. This is interesting. You have your sketchy, not like your eyes. So you have a different visual style. Then you have your X-ray. Now this X-ray is also important for some modeling tips, and when you're doing some interior modeling and you have to see what is inside, that's when you have the X-ray. Very important. Then you have your visual style manager where you set some of these visual style for the whole drawing as a general setting for it. So this is just to let you know that. Alright, so I'm going to end with the navigation in the 3D space. Alright, so let me take this to shaded with edge, so we see the lines that also mix up. So in 3D space, unlike your drafting annotation isometric view, you would think this is just an isometric object, just like your isometric view in your drafting annotation. But this is different because for your isometric object, it is just you creating an illusion of a 3D object on a plain sheet of paper, so you can't really see the whole dimension of the object. But for a 3D object, you have information at the back here that you can also see. And for you to do the navigation just like a normal AutoCAD 2D, holding down your mouse will pan. If you roll your mouse up and down, it zooms in. Then if you hold down Shift and press down your wheel and move, you can see what is behind and even under. So this is called the orbit. Once again, hold down your wheel and move. It pans. Roll your wheel up and down to zoom in and zoom out. Then hold down Shift and move your wheel. Press down your wheel. Once you hold down Shift, press down your wheel and move it while the Shift is still held down. You are going to see the whole part of the object. It's just like you moving around the object. So you can see that. So that is the navigation. The three major navigation for 3D Workspace, and once you understand this, everything should be fine. So I think I'm going to end this here, and in the next one we're going to see what next. All right.